In this lesson, let's continue to explore the rest of the commands in T-Splines. Let's first draw a cylinder. Let's bring it up to this high. And I'll draw a box. Gotta make sure that they're both in sub D mode. I'm gonna go to the face selection tool, select the top of this box here and delete it so they're both open. You can select the bottom one as well so they're both. Actually, we'll keep the bottom one closed. That's fine. I'm gonna draw a oval. And I'm just going to make it a little smaller. Doesn't have to be that big. You just want to make sure it fits right on the inside of this object here. There we go. And for this guy, let's move him to the right. And just try to center it as best you can. So if you have a mesh that looks like this and you want it to match precisely to either the edge of a NURB or a specific curve to fit to a certain part or model, the match surface does its best to give you that feedback. So what you generally want to do, let's start with the cylinder here first. You go to edge select mode, which is the S key. You want to shift select the one next to it and double click. And you go to match surface. The question it asks you now is select the edge or curve. So we can even pipe this and just select the edge, which is the same thing as a curve. So I'm going to go and select the curve. When I'm done, hit the right click. You'll see that it has a feedback already. You can go here and select preview. That's what it will look like when it reapplies itself. When I hit the right click, there we go. If I go to object mode, I can select the curve and delete it. It's now perfectly aligned to the shape of the curve I created. It's really good if you want to make specific models that are very important to you, creating the connection to a NURB. I can also toggle between smooth and polygon mode, and you'll see that it does look weird, but when I keep it in smooth mode, it is precisely what I want it to look like. I can even go here and model other parts that this stays the way it's supposed to. Let's cover the box to the oval. This has a somewhat similar effect, but it does give you a different result, and I'll show you. If I go and select the edge here and shift select the one next to it and double click, if I go to the match surface command and I select the edge or curve and hit enter, same feedback, preview, yes. If I hit the enter key, you will notice now that it did match it precisely. But when you are still wanting to do some modeling to your model, you will notice that it did subdivide the model and added more edges or faces just so it can give you the result you want. That's the only downside when you're working with very simplified box model compared to a more complex and precise cylinder. So a circle or oval will give you um, a better result than working with a box to an oval. You will have to expect that it will subdivide your model in order to match your curve. Again, I can delete it. I can also go in here and manipulate it, and it doesn't affect the opening that we shaped it to. Again, the one final tool I want to cover. These are not important in this process because these are more advanced, and I generally have not found the need to use them at the majority of my modeling process. So the only thing I will want to show you is this flip normals tool. If I select the model, left click on it, it does flip it. And if you're ever faced with inverted normals, you can just left click here. Another thing I want to cover finally is the smooth modifier. The way this works is, let's draw a plane, for example. Let's go to the face tools. I can select all the faces here. You notice that the verts are not creased out, so I need to select all the verts and remove the creases. Go back to face mode and go to this icon here, which is subdivide. I don't use this a lot, but just for this example, we'll use it. So select all the faces, subdivide so it creates more faces. Let's do it again. Here we go. If I go to the vert mode, you'll notice that there are some extra verts here. So let's again simplify it. There we go. I want to go to the options here. Turn on the soft manipulation toggle and the soft radius box. And that's all. If you look here, you have the option to turn it on and off. You have the option to add a radius. But in my case, I just want to turn it on. You'll see it's on here. You can also turn it off here. You have the option to add a distance. So let's try using 10. Basically what it tells you is it will use this point is 100% and the fall off is a radius of 10 millimeters or whatever unit you're using. So I can select one vert, and you'll notice that the fall off is giving you some black verts and the rest are white, meaning these won't be affected, just these here. So if I move this one up, you'll notice these guys are moving with it. If I select more, you'll see the fall off. I can increase the radius to 50, or let's try 30. If I select these four here, notice the fall off got bigger, giving you more of a softer feedback. I can go to edge mode, select the entire ring here. Notice the fall off is quite large. Let's deselect and change it to 15. Let's pull it up and down. And that is soft manipulation. All right, that should be it with the tools that I will be using in the modeling process in T-Splines within Rhino. So in the next lesson, we will be We will begin modeling our helicopter.